Hello there, everybody. Welcome to episode 6 of Firemind. We will continue the adventures of our expedition leader to found a new mountain home at the mountain tops in front of the elven forests and bring this place to its proper glory. Now, I have done some working between the episodes. I have decided that this place it really needs more apartments, so I've designed a little bit here. So we have more things branching off of the main promenade. I went for a little bit of a more random look, as you see here. I also organized it in a way that this narrow corridor here has a lot of rooms and none of the doors are opposing each other, so nobody could run into his neighbor if they all decided to leave the door all at once. Now, up here, I started to design the next level of the city, and I've started to go for the first new apartment block. So this is one of the new luxury blocks. As you see here, none of the doors is leading to the noisy main promenade. This doesn't have any in-game effects, but I figured that people would obviously like that. We have a little bit of a fancy hallway here. Probably at the end of the day there will be windows in here. I'll see what I can do. We're obviously only at the beginning of our journey. So these new apartments, they should get us some leeway to work with, but there will be 300 people living in Firemind one day, and that's gonna be a pretty big challenge. Okay, that's one thing for today's episode. The other thing that I obviously want to do, besides founding this fine new underground pasture for real, I want to explore the depths of this place properly. And it's time for us to scrounge this place for metals. We really need to find something to work with. We had a artifact that had to be made, and we found a few scraps of hematite down here at this elevation level, but it's almost nothing, but it's the first hint of what's to come. The good part about all this is usually these things come in veins, but as you see here, we are sitting right next to the big shaft that is somehow in the caverns of this place. The depths of Firemind, we haven't barely even touched them yet, so this place is really riddled with canyons and very complicated areas, but here's malachite running through the walls. So we got a fancy load of copper here in the marble section. So marble might be an indicator for malachite. That's copper. And silver, if I remember correctly. Silver makes up for pretty good blunt weapons, at least. So I see here some malachite shimmering through. So we might get ourselves over there, which is absolutely possible. Okay, so we need to establish a center of operations. So we're going to put this on F3, as this is the layer where we can freely traverse above these this canyon here. The one I'm hovering around with the mouse cursor, you see this layer here. We can here just dig over it. Okay, that's pretty neat, isn't it? So that's gonna be where we will work. That means we are going to expand this cavern. And that's gonna be priority 1. City expansions now go for a lower priority, simply because your workers, the new people, they don't need a room for themselves immediately. They can live for a couple of days without a private room. That doesn't kill them. That doesn't even make them too grumpy or grouchy. No. You can provide these as needed. Personally, I think, to come back to the story of this place, since this is after all a storytelling playthrough, our good friend Uzol here wants to press deeper. Several reasons. For one, this is ought to be a mountain home. That means we need to go deep, because several reasons. It wouldn't be a mountain home without us digging deep, for one, and there are treasures to be found down there that cannot be found anywhere else. Of course, I'm talking about adamantine, and yeah, that's another thing. And there's another treasure that she doesn't talk openly about to her fellow dwarves, and that's she's dreaming of magma. We need that stuff to fulfill her power fantasies, to see these forests burn, because in case you're new to the series, our dear expedition leader is suffering from post-traumatic stress because the elves of the previous season killed off her pet Cavi Ad Koganaros. There was a ambush of elven bandits once, and a lot of animals died there. And that's the story of hers. That's how life goes. So, we're finding here some nice gemstone. If I see this correctly, these are actually worth a penny. These aren't rock crystals, they're not worth too much. But it's not that much of a big deal. So, no, we can't go down here. Alright. Okay, quite an exciting moment to reach down into the deeper layers of this place. This is also turning more and more into a logistical nightmare. Getting stuff from down here back up is going to become more and more challenging. But let's see, we are now in this pillar. Let's browse down a bit. There comes malachite at this height, but we need to definitely go deeper until we hit the marble layer. Copper is for sure not the first preference of metals that the dwarves of this place would prefer to work with, but you need to start somewhere after all. And we got a discovery of hematite, so iron and steel, due to the abundance of flux-stone, are no problem after all, so it's gonna be good. Here we got some smoky quartz. Let's dig that out right away. The fancy auto mine order. And now we've entered malachite walls. There we go, my friends. We have struck metal. It's really important to manually mine that now. Simply because if I would put that onto auto mining, these crazy fools would dig themselves into their doom, as it won't end well for us if we dig into the caverns without military and all the other things that you really need to be safe down here. Alert! Ah, it's just the mountain home. Hailing. Alright, so it's the second year for our fine fortress. We still don't have much to offer in terms of sales or even free gifts. Oh, that is not how it should look like. So we're going to have a talk with the outpost liaison, but apart from that, well, I know what I will do. Hello, Sazir. I think I know this guy from my previous fortress. Oh, whatever. I have that feeling all the time. Now, what we're going to get ourselves here is a nice amount of short swords, breastplates. You get surely where I'm getting myself towards to. I'm just going to buy my first suit of military gear from the neighboring mountain home. We're of course buying leggings and not greaves. Yeah, well, we're ordered both. It would be an offense to the queen not to order leggings. If you know, you know. So we're going to go and order some shields here as well. So an entire suit of armor for our military to be. So even if we don't find sufficient amounts of iron right now, next year our military will be present. Even if it is just a few jurists strong. It won't matter that much. Whoa. Alright. Why Why is that so loud all of a sudden? I can't remember my master volume kicking this up so much. I hope this wasn't as shocking to you as it was to me. I'm very sorry if that was the case. Yeah. So, let's check with our new friend here. So, this guy is already a legendary stonecutter. And he goes off and creates just another artifact. What a badass Thaltic Beached Mirrors is. Let's dive better into the life of Thaltic, because, you know, after all, he's creating a new thing here for us. So, this guy had them all. He's been through all of the seasons with me. Coincidental Tombs, Paddles of Luck, Lands of Faith. This guy is with me since Season 2. Imagine this guy being legendary, being, like, a badass in so many things, and I don't recognize him. I'm very sorry about this. Jeez. Alright. Now, let's have a look at you, my young man, my young friend. I think he needs materials. He's tall, a very long beard, arranged in double braids. Alright, fancy boy. He loves braided hair. Low voice, narrow nose, amber hair, burned umber, golden eyes. Oh, wait a sec. This guy just grabbed a piece of rock salt and creates an artifact out of that. It's kind of like the Chuck Norris of dwarves here somehow. Anyways. Welcome, Thaltic. I think I need to pay you up a few more respects. I wouldn't be too surprised if he now would just claim that artifact as a family heirloom. After all, I mean, could have a look at him. So let's see. Whoa, this guy has a life story on him. Never feels discouraged. Strong tendency toward privacy. Very easily falls into love and develops positive feelings after becoming a parent. Okay, so that's been in the year 119. Okay, he finds helping others. This guy's a real goody two shoes. Dislikes obligations and will try to avoid being bound by them. Okay, he created a crown. Huh. Intriguing. What a fitting artifact for the mountain home. He can be very happy and optimistic. He's very curious, sometimes to his detriment. He doesn't tend to hold on to grievances. He sometimes acts with little determination and confidence. He lives a fast-paced life. He can't handle stress. He sounds like a freaking action hero. Alright. He has an active sense of humor. See, he can't even do quippy one-liners. Perfect. Okay. So how happy are you, actually? Well, he values peace. Now that might make him an opposer to what's going to happen. So, Fur Olum. Yeah, that's just a plain old crown. Okay. I think we will not hear the last of it. Of this fine young man. Okay. Now, back to the copper mines after this interesting little incident with one Thaltic. It's really amusing to see how you find the same people time and time again in your fortresses, and if you don't pay attention to it, you can easily miss it. I really like this, though. So seems like good old jolly Thaltic feels like we are a trustworthy bunch. Us expedition leaders under my command, I mean. So we're going to hollow out the mountain here. Carefully, of course. But marble is valuable. We will consider the marble as a stone that we are going to be using. Not only for the flux. I don't know, maybe I will make a quick climb out of that. I have to recheck how to make clear glass. I think that was potash. I think it was only potash. I don't know anymore. We'll see about that. Either way, I feel like marble is hell of a good stone for aesthetical uses. therefore we're going to do it. And I also love the idea that the caverns, as we see them here, are silently being hollowed out by the dwarves of Firemind behind the scenes. I mean, obviously I'm doing this in the hopes of finding new copper, but at the same time, every one of these marble boulders is actually really, really useful, as we can use these for many different things. I like that. So we're going to refrain from trading with our friends from the mountain home. We don't need that this year, but next year we will. So let's see. I think I will relocate the hotkey to this place, as this is turning out to be the new hotspot for our operations. Right. Obviously, we found almost no further copper. It's really, really sad. But, well, we might go downstairs as well. There will be more of where that came from. Okay, so let's see if we can complete the underground pasture mission today. No, not yet. We need to let this dry out for a couple of days and wait until enough floor fungus has grown down here. The animals will stay safe for another year or another season or however long it might take. It won't be the reason for any bigger disasters or something like that. Famous last words, huh? Nah, but I don't think that this will take particularly long to regrow. And there's another thing that I meant to do, and that is I want to expand into the sandy areas here, as they are obviously free areas where I can find myself pasture ground growing, as this stuff is just free to dig. But I need to be careful that all of the trees that I crunch up over here will be now a problem for the pastures. And I gotta be careful about that. So if I'd be cutting this apple tree here, there would be a hole in the ground afterwards. And it would need to fill that up. So our tree cutting will happen somewhere else. That's all that I need to pay attention to. And I will pay attention to this time. I failed at this task numerous times in the past. I think I learned my lesson by now. Let's hope that's true. But at the same time, I mean to expand the pastures a tad bit more, as I love the idea of having a really, really nice and large area here. Maybe we start some real breeding activities here, domesticating animals, whatever. I haven't gone into these topics of the game too deep yet. You can't do a lot of crazy things there, though. I domesticated cavern dwellers once. It was fun. I had a noble army of Draldars. Yeah. Alright, so we're going to put corpses outside here, as we do have some of them piling and littering the place up, which I don't like. All in all, we do need a lot more organization here to get over the years to come. Why are there no pigtail seeds? What happened to my pigtail seeds? So maybe we need to trade after all, my good friends, but next year, obviously. I don't understand, though, where my pigtail seeds went. Ah, well, it ain't that much of a big deal, as we will be able to get new ones going, but what's shocking me here is that I don't see any pigtails planted out anywhere else, so... Does fabric production destroy seeds? Is that what happened? Is that something that I've overlooked all the time? Well, we can't find out for sure. Shouldn't be that much of a big deal to find some place where we can harvest some wild growing pigtail. There. I told you. They usually grow everywhere. So let's start Operation Pigtail. I want to know what the hell happened to these. So our clothier, the legendary clothier, who's obviously also my plant gatherer. I really need to overthink this. So let's see. There will be now somebody doing something with that pigtail at some point, no? So let's see. Where did the plant go? Plants. Pigtails. I've got tons of them, unprocessed. Alright, so that's what happened here. Okay. So we need to put up a job to process plants. That's what I've forgotten. As you see, sometimes you just have to find the culprit in the list. So you need to put up this task, as this processes the plant fiber into something that you can't use. That's also the reason why you have to have tons of farmers' workshops at some point, because you just have to process so freaking many fibers. But yeah. Of course, there's nothing getting done if we're not processing the plants into fibers. Duh. Not a big surprise, not a big surprise, but it's easy to oversee, to miss a task or two with this game. So I want to see now. As you see here, they're now processing eagerly after I have put up the task. I need to know now that, yeah, there came out way more seeds than there were pigtails, I think, even. Well, whatever. So, we can also witness how this place is coming together now. Awesome. So, I want to have the upper level bricked up, and the floors of these apartments will be all fine laid down bricks. But I want to have the lower level, this entrance level here, smoothed out apartment blocks. So we have a bit of a aesthetical change when we go upstairs, you know. But with that load of apartments, Firemind can really look towards to the first influx of new people coming up here. We are ready. We are truly, truly ready. So, let's see. What kind or what amount of blocks do we have so far? We got a nice amount of diorite blocks running up here. Whoa. Okay. So we can set the first real constructions here together. So exciting. So it's going to be very simple though. We're just going to put a bit of floorboards in here everywhere. Oh no, I forgot that I cannot put doors in here for... Yeah, well, that's a bit of a personal fetish of mine, but I go crazy if the floor type is not the same as the inside of the room. Drop me a comment if you suffer from that same weird fetish. I don't even know why it is so important to me, but it is. It drives me crazy if it's not like that, just so you know. Alrighty, let's slam some beds in there, and well, so far so good. A couple of things do worry me as the taskmaster of this place. We don't have any ways and means to defend ourselves. We only have a few scraps of iron, and that's it. We haven't even processed it into any meaningful object, so that will be a heavy problem for us. Also, our wood stockpiles are empty. We do have a lot of stone going on, but I haven't designated a smithy area yet, so we need to construct that as soon as possible, I think. So for now, we're just going to go on the hilltops. Cut down a couple of trees here. It's really important to check below and don't cut too many because we don't want to anger the weird and wild creatures here. There's a flock of giant mountain goats. Look at these crazy things. Look at how huge they are. And I'm pretty sure they might grow agitated if we mess around with the nature here too much. They always do eventually. And let's just say we intend to mess around with this place a wee bit. Alright. But overall, the workshops here are coming together. The stone halls are, well, there's still quite a long way to go. I need now next the metal workers and the jewelers, but we also need to design that in a way that the magma workshops can be put there as well. So let's check back with our project here. So that is a pretty big disappointment. So we haven't found a single scrap of metal inside there, besides the obvious vein there. I don't expect to find anything while I'm turning inside here, but, well, we will get ourselves some stone to work with. It's always worth something. And I feel as if we might be using this one day for something. Maybe we will entrap a forgotten beast inside these holes. Who knows? With some luck, I might be finding some materials here. But I do think that I need to go rather... Let's see. This way. So let's put that on another hotkey. So my idea was to just go downstairs and see if we can't find a comparable vein inside these layers. Okay, that's as far as we can go. Because iron might be the much more attractive option here, although we don't seem to have easy access to it. Alright. So while the metal here might be much more desirable, the stones here are not. Neither granite nor microcline are particularly desirable stones, but we will acquire them in insane amounts while we are desperately digging here for metals. So the metals are here. It's not as if we are doomed with an environment where there's nothing to work with, but at the same time, it is quite obvious that this is not much to work with. This is truly not much to work with. So let's see what malachite is composed out of. So malachite is pure copper ore. I was wrong about any side products. So yeah, that is... This layer provides decorum, and maybe we can make some bronze out of it if we find some tin somewhere to trade or whatever, but ain't gonna happen today. Surely ain't gonna happen today. So let's see what we'll be finding down here. I mean, at the end of the day, this is an elaborate mining process of building material after all. I mean, this fortress is supposed to be something splendorful, and therefore we really do need to find some way to make this place fancy. Various different stone types are surely a good way to get that done. And we did procure quite a lot of different colors so far, but it's so clear that no further metal veins were visible so far, except for the malachite, which is bleeding into the caverns, which is really bad. And so far, as I put myself into grave danger when we're procuring that. But there is the full winter up ahead of us, and we will find the time to dig deeper here. In the meanwhile, we are staffing out these rooms for all the people to come. Finally, the diorite has been laid out here. So this is going to be a bit of a glimpse of how these halls will look one day. We do have a long, long way up ahead of us still, in terms of getting all that work down, but I do like to see that we're getting started here somehow. Well, my good friends, this is the end of today's episode. We are still digging out down here a bit and continuing our endeavors. I mean, nothing speaks against me trying to find something on these layers, but we'll see how bountiful this is. Leave me your comments down below. I would be really, really happy to hear back from you. This fortress is really a labor of love from my side, and you guys are really, really a awesome audience. Leave a thumbs up for the algorithm, consider subscribing, and if you'd be so kind, check out Patreon, PayPal, and Buy Me a Coffee, as I provide as much as I can in terms of Daily Dwarf. I appreciate so much your support. I couldn't do this without you guys, so let's go for the next episode, and hopefully the gods finally will smile upon us and give us more than these few scraps of metal. See you guys there. Have a good one.